1.
The following program comes from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, songwriter, 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce WrestleMania. And the first to launch her own podcast, which gives you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes and extraordinary entertainers. Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey of chasing glory with your host, Lilian Garcia.
What a week, what a week, what a week. Welcome, everybody, to Chasing Glory. Thank you for following the show at Chasing Glory Podcast on Instagram. Thank you for following me at Lilian Garcia on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, that's Lilian with one L in the middle, and Lilian Garcia official fan page on Facebook. So excited to have you guys here. We have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the show. I'm very, very excited about my guest. Learned a lot about Josiah Williams in this episode, and I'll tell you exactly why I wanted to have him on the show. But first, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much. You have no idea the difference that you have made in someone's life. And what I mean by someone, I mean multiple people. So as you know, since last week, the Squared Circle Sisters, my WWE sisters that I worked with for so many years, we came together and we wanted to do something in Ashley Mazzaro's name. We wanted to do something in her memory. We wanted to do something for her daughter and for her, Ashley's mom too, just so that they know that they're not alone. And Lexi is just someone that is really special and someone that I grew up watching and, of course, meeting backstage and just watching her at ringside, watching her mom. So we decided to put a GoFundMe page out and see what happened. And we wanted to raise money for Lexi for continuing her education. As a matter of fact, she has done already 1 year and she made straight A's. I love it. And she's taking this very seriously. And now to help support her, because Ashley was helping her, Ashley was out there working so that she could help her daughter. And so we wanted to come together and just let her know she's not alone. And you guys stepped up in a huge way. All right. So it is Friday right now as I'm recording this. And as of Friday, we have come up with $33,000 that have been donated by all of you. I can't tell you how much that means to not just Lexi and Ashley's mother, the family, but also to us, as far as the sisters who came together, who wanted to see, can we make a difference? And just to see the outpour of love. The New York Post did a huge article on it as well. Thank you to the New York Post for bringing more attention to it and just allowing us to do this. It feels really good. And I want you all, the ones that have donated, even the $5. If you look, you'll see a lot of $5, $10, $25. That is beautiful. That is all we've ever asked, is if you could just give something. Didn't that feel good? Didn't that feel good to get out there and go, you know what? I am going to give $5 to this account. It all adds up. So thank you for being a part of this. And that's what it's all about, us coming together in love. So if you want to donate, just make sure you go to the GoFundMe page and you can Google Ashley Mazzaro and Lexi's name as well, Alexa, and you can find the page. There is a video that we put together of us giving Lexi a personal message. So that's on there as well. You'll know that you got to the right account. So we'll see. Our goal is 100,000. So I know we're going to get there with all of you, with your help. Mick Foley was also a big help in this. When he found out we were doing this, he reached out and he was like, look, anything you guys need. I have done these GoFundMes before. I've never done one. So I was like, yeah, I could use all the help I could get. So Mick was great. And then he came and joined me in the PFL. So last Thursday I was announcing PFL 2. If you don't know, I am the new MMA announcer for PFL in the cage announcer. So exciting. It's the regular season, the playoffs, and then the championships. And Mick Foley, being that he lives in Long Island and we were at Nassau Coliseum, I invited him to come out and he sat next to me at ringside. So much fun. So many fans. We're so happy to see him and just felt really great to have some time with Mick. And then we did a little video afterwards and put it up online, just helping to raise more money and more awareness. So thank you, Mick, for coming out and being a part of the PFL and also helping out with the GoFundMe page. It's just, it's so great to have you part of this. So let's see. Remember I told you it's been a big week. That's right. Because the other thing that we've done this week is that I released a brand new song. I can't believe it. It's been years. It has been years since I have released new music, and I needed to do that. I needed to find the music back inside of me, and when I was writing this, I started thinking, you know what? I want Josiah Williams to be a part of this because he was contributing to Chasing Glory, and I was seeing what a tremendous talent he was, and I was like, this would be perfect. And when I sent in the song, and he wrote what he wrote, I was like, oh my God, this is blowing my mind. I love it. I just absolutely love what he did. So thank you to Josiah for being part of this. And we want you to please go ahead and go to Apple or go to Spotify or Google or wherever you get your music and just download the song. It's called Now. It is a inspirational, motivational song so that you all can hopefully find the inspiration to make a change in your lives, to get out of your head, get into action, and take over your life right now. Wherever it is that you want your life to go, you can make the choice and make it happen. So we're hoping that with this song that you just can play it over and over and over and just really let those words seep in and make a choice and make a move and just get to it. All right, so download the song now. Before we get to Josiah's episode, which is why I wanted to have him on here, because I wanted him to tell his story. He's now working for the WWE. I love it. It's a dream of his. You're going to hear a great, 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 great lesson. Not even just one, multiple lessons in this. He was, as we say, real, raw, and inspiring. So I wanted to have him on for the perfect timing of us releasing this. I thought it was a great, great opportunity for that. So I want to get through the review first of the week before we move on. And thank you for all your reviews. Remember that you can go to Apple Podcasts and just write a review. Let us know what you think. Thank you for the 5-star rating. And just make sure that you get those in because then you get put into a drawing at the end of the month. And if you are chosen, then you get the 8x10 signed by me and also a Chasing Glory t-shirt. Yes, you can wear it loud and proud. All right, so today's winner. Okay, I know I'm going to botch the name. Hao Kong. I think that's what it is. Hao Kong. Anyway, the title is Great Podcast. The title says it all. Chasing Glory is a great podcast that gives us a look at people that we see on TV every single week. The podcast made me realize that these celebrities also battle everyday problems like normal people do. It also made me feel comfortable and gave me a sense of belonging because I would think I was the only one battling with these issues. To see these superstars open up and tell their journey is a great motivation to go chase your dream because sometimes the most successful people are the ones who made mistakes and learn from them. That's right. Thank you so much for this 5-star review. I appreciate it. And I love what you were saying there because it is true. We do make mistakes, like big time, and we learn from them and we keep moving because that's life. Okay, you got that? All right. Want to thank Cure Nutrition for bringing this episode to you. They are our official sponsor, and I can't pick a better sponsor than Cure Nutrition. Really want to thank them. They have been a believer of Chasing Glory from the beginning, and I've been a believer of their product from the very beginning. I'm going to let you know about them later on in the show, but for now, just remember curednutrition.com/glory and the promo code glory for 15% off. These are CBD products. They're going to help with anxiety and stress and depression and a lot of things that we battle in our day, and they can get your endocannabinoid system all balanced out. So curednutrition.com/glory, promo code glory, 15% off. Okay, it is time. Without further ado, here is Josiah Williams' journey of Chasing Glory. The ultimate blend of faith, inspiration, and entertainment, Josiah Williams knew he had a gift through his creativity and artistry. As a young kid growing up in Milwaukee, Josiah's obsession were music and acting, being able to recite the entire Lion King script at the age of 2, and he would be involved in his local community theater at the age of 4. By 10 years old, he would be playing drums before writing poetry just a few years later. He would fully embrace music as a whole in college when he would fiddle around with his laptop and combined it with his background in spoken word and slam poetry that helped him develop his lyrical style. He would enhance his experience in entertainment by enrolling as a theater performance major at Bradley University, where he would MC the school's basketball games and even open up for Chance the Rapper at a school concert. He would continue to perform with lyrics that were meant to inspire and encourage, and would even capture the attention of United States Congresswoman Sherry Buttos, who hired him straight out of college. He would maintain a strong relationship with God through his music and continuously perform all over Illinois at various churches and banquets. While music has been a huge part of his life, he would begin to blend another one of his lifelong passions into his career. A longtime fan of pro wrestling, Josiah would create Wrestle and Flow, where he would take the wrestlers' entrance music and add his own remix to them, which can be seen and heard on his YouTube page, and has released multiple full-length albums, which features many wrestling personalities. Because of his great work, he would catch the eye of Chasing Glory and became a contributor to the show by releasing videos. His unique style also caught the eye of the WWE, and he most recently got hired as the on-air digital talent and content creator for NXT. Although his duties consist of taking over the Performance Center's social media accounts, Josiah is still able to go back to his original passion of making music, and just recently released a brand new single called Now, featuring yours truly, Lilian Garcia. There's no telling where Josiah's journey will take him next, but it will no doubt be meaningful. It's about to get real, raw, and inspiring with Josiah Williams. Woohoo! The day has arrived. Josiah Williams is in the house.
What's up? What's up?
He's in the structure. He's on Chasing Glory. Welcome.
Thank you. I've been waiting for this for a very, very long time. I'm excited.
I think it's so crazy, and it's such an honor that when I asked you to be on Chasing Glory, you got so tickled and you were like, oh my God, I was going to wait for the right moment to ask you if I could be on.
That's right. There's always a plan for this type of stuff. And I'm like, there's going to be a moment, but look, here we are.
Here we are. I asked you, why was it so special for you to be on the show?
So in my downtime, which I don't have a lot of, but I like to listen to interviews, on YouTube, on Spotify, wherever, and, getting to know the artist behind the stage kind of, and being able to see not only musicians, but sports entertainers, of course. And listening to your podcast, I feel like people get much more than what they expect. I think the questions that you ask, just the way that people answer them, I'm like, I can do this. I want to be able to tell my story, but on this platform specifically.
Oh man, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, because I work really, really hard at wanting to share these incredible stories, and not just your normal, whether it's a football player, what's your, favorite game that you ever played, or whether it's a wrestler, what's your favorite match? Like that, there's a place for all of that. But I like to get to know the person, and you're on the hot seat. Josiah, first of all, I just want to say I am so extremely humbled, proud, moved that I get to do the song with you, the song that we just released called Now. And to have your talent on this, literally, I didn't know how it was going to work out when I asked you to be part of it, but I had a good feeling because I love your stuff. And then when I heard and, was coming up with the concept of the song and everything, I was like, oh, I can totally hear Josiah like going off right here. And man, I sent it to you, and what you wrote, when I got it back, I was like, oh my God, this is great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was really excited, of course, when I got, your message and saying, hey, do you want to do this? Of course I want to do this. I would love to do this. But because, for people who do music, this is a long process. And
yes.
In the beginning, it sounds rough and but hearing that final product months later was like, this is exactly what we were going for.
Right. I remember when I was sending you those first drafts where I was like, okay, you got to look past this and you got to look past that. And you got to look, this is really rough right now. And it's kind of like, you're writing a book, but then you have to edit and edit and edit. And that's what we were doing. But I was like, okay, just trust me. This is going to be much better here. It's going to be much better over there. We're going to add more of this and more of that. And it's funny because anytime that I try to give those early drafts to like my husband, for example, he'll look at it or he'll listen to it and he'll go, I can't hear past it. I like hear it's right here. Like, this does not sound good. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. Like, it's going to get better. And we're going to add the mayonnaise to the sandwich.
You got to see the bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture.
It's not going to be so dry. So I love that you were like, okay, I get it. And then when we finally got it mastered and got it to that final stage, and we both listened to it. And I love that we were backstage, and we'll talk about that, being at Powerful You, getting to perform it for the very first time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I just remember both of us looking at each other and just being like, oh, like it's really happening. I hope that people have, now that we've released it, I'm really hoping A, they've taken the time to download and listen to it. I hope that B, they're getting the message behind it. And we'll talk more about that. And I want to thank the people that have already reached out and been like, oh my gosh, you guys are blowing my mind. Yeah, and we have a surprise to tell you, by the way, later on this podcast, what Josiah and I have decided. Yes. But first, I want to ask you, how was it for you? This whole concept of the song came up when I wanted to when I got actually hired for Powerful You, right? To perform, it was to host and to speak at Powerful You, and it was in LA. And when that opportunity came up, I was like, man, I have to release a song. And it's been years since I've released a song, with the death of my dad and then my mom and the situation which she was through, I didn't really have the music inside of me. So when that situation came, I was like, I have to do this. So I was forcing myself. And then I was like, I want to do something that's inspirational, that really fits the Powerful You mentality. And then getting to add you to the mix, and then getting the opportunity, like, well, not only are you going to release it, but you're going to get to perform.
Yeah.
And then you and I hit the stage. I want to hear from you what it was like to hit the stage at Powerful You with me, like for us to do it together.
A lot of what's happening in my life right now is very surreal. The people that I'm connecting with and that I'm working with now, not just getting to know, but really working with, are people that I watched online or on TV, years ago. So this whole process, first of all, of creating a song that it's not just, it's not just fun, it's not something to dance to, but it truly speaks to people and encourages others. So getting up there, on one hand, is like, I want people to really enjoy and interact with this song and feel something coming out of it. And then being up there with a legend, of course, it makes it even better. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it, truly.
Oh man, no, you're the legend around here. Seriously, you're about to blow up in such a way. Seriously, incredible. And I'm going to get into your story, but I have to say, being on stage with you felt just right.
Yeah, it was fun, and it felt natural. I think we went through the song one time, and some people have to kind of stage things out of like, we'll go to this side now, or we'll go and do this dance move. Like, we didn't have to do any of that.
No.
It just felt right. It was perfect.
And the way that the audience received it, and just the whole weekend, they were singing along. It was great. We'll be sharing with you guys clips from the show, and we are building a music video together.
Yes,
from it. So that's getting created right now, which I'm so excited, so that all you can really feel what we were feeling up on stage. So like I said, I'll release more news about this later. But let's get to you. Let's get to your story, because a lot of people that are listening to the show right now don't know who Josiah Williams is.
Yeah.
They just know what I read in the bio. They know that you now work for NXT. They know that you were contributing to Chasing Glory until WWE took you away from me. I was happy, but not happy. Happy for you, not happy for me.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, if you guys, I'm sure a lot of you kept up with the fact that Josiah was the one that creating all these videos when we were doing releases for the other superstars, and you were creating these amazing videos of them and songs, and just making them your own, and people were blown away. That's the way that my audience at Chasing Glory got to know you.
Mm-hmm.
But who the heck is Josiah Williams, and how the heck did you get to this moment? Because this has been, like you said, a lot has happened just in the last few months, and people think it's happened overnight, but take us to the really overnight. Like, this is years in the making.
It is. Man, where do we start from childhood, or where do we go from this?
Yeah, let's start from childhood, because I want to know who you are as a kid. I want to know some of the struggles that you've been through. I want to know how you got through them.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want to know, Christian hip hop, why Christian music is so important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in this day and age where people are like, oh man, why does everybody talk about God?
Right.
But I think it's okay to, hey, if you believe, great. If you don't believe, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, take us. Who's Josiah Williams at like 1 or 2 years old?
Oh man!
According to your bio, you actually recited the entire Lion King script. What the hell?
This is a fact. This is true. You can ask my mother, Miss Venus Williams. Like, this is real. I don't know. I guess growing up, I always was into the arts. I love music. I love dancing. I love theater. I wasn't really good at like drawing or anything, but I love visual art as well. I had a very eclectic and fun childhood. I grew up in Milwaukee, and all the schools that I went to up until high school, both of the schools that I went to were arts-based schools. So, we're learning like math and history and all that stuff, but we're also getting in art classes and putting on plays. And for me, that was just natural. That's what I loved to do. So that tracked with me all the way through 5th grade and then going into middle school.
Well, what got you into that?
I think just seeing, some of the other kids who were really passionate about it. And then realizing like, I think I'm good at some of this stuff too.
So it wasn't anybody in your family?
My mom, we can talk about that too. So my mom sang, my uncle sang, my grandfather sang. Okay. And I mean, when I say sang, I'm kind of, I don't like talking about myself, but they opened up.
But this show is all about you. So get over it and bring it on.
I didn't know that my grandfather would be, on vinyl records. Like, he had his own group, and my uncle opened up and sang background vocals for Babyface. And like, they were really in the industry. I didn't know this stuff. I just grew up thinking that everybody liked to sing as a hobby. But this is kind of like my family is really into this music scene. And it's kind of cool to see all that. So I had no idea that I was kind of growing into it intentionally and unintentionally. Yeah.
Well, that definitely, I could see how it influenced you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Being surrounded by music. Okay.
It's huge. I can remember being around family events and people are singing and dancing. And for me, that's normal. But thinking about like the quality level of singing, I guess I just got used to it. but that was always an interest for me. So I became really talented really quickly. I started playing the drums at the age of 10 officially. But I remember in my 5th grade graduation or commencement or whatever it was, completion, there was a song by Nas, and we kind of like recreated it. I was doing drums, like, but with my hands kind of like on the stage. Yeah. And I was the featured artist for our 5th grade commencement. Wow. So I made the beat on the stage and then had like a little solo and everything. But so I was used to the spotlight being on me, I guess, kind of at an early age. The problem with that is that I kind of took it to my head a little bit, and became the egotistical side of Josiah Williams. So
at 10?
I would say more so around like 12-ish. So this was the end of 6th grade going into 7th grade. Okay. It was clear to me and to all the other teachers and students in middle school that I was probably one of the most talented kids in school. Mm-hmm. And I think because of that, I didn't really accept anything less than praise. And I didn't focus on, because I was always a really good student, really respectful kid. But here I am now as this new kid in a big sea of students, and I'm the most talented. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm the superstar here now. Wow. So it got pretty bad. My attitude changed. Yeah, my attitude changed. I became really disrespectful towards authority and teachers, and I think I didn't understand that right away. But I went from like a 3.7 to down to like a 2.4 grade point average. Wow! And teachers would start calling home and like, this kid who was once a star is like someone who we don't want to be around at all.
Wow. It's almost like the syndrome of too much too early.
Yeah. It
Can't
was.
Process it, right? Because that's kind of what happened a little bit with maybe Justin Bieber, Britney Spears, all that, like so much that you can't process it at that age.
Exactly. And at that time, I was also a part of a talent agency too. So I'm doing commercials for the NBA. There was supposed to be a really, really big one that my mom said no to. I was supposed to fly out to New York, and I don't remember what it was. I want to say it was double mint gum. It was something big. Mm-hmm. And my mom's like, no, he's not ready for that because of everything that was going on. I was kind of this mini Kanye West in the making, I guess. So it was difficult, very, very difficult for a little bit. But there was one specific moment that it didn't change me right away, but later on in life, I kind of got understood what was going on. I had a Spanish teacher. Her name was Senora Defino. Mm-hmm. And she was really good at what she did. Great teacher, but a solid human being outside of that. And 7th grade, towards the end of the year, she pulled me into the hallway and she's like, I am so fed up with you. Ooh. That's how she started out the conversation. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And the hallways are silent at this point, but her voice is starting to yell and like, she's filling up the hallway with this, but she's like, I'm fed up with you. I'm fed up with your, I'll say crap. Yeah. This kid who I used to love being around has turned into a piece of crap. And she starts talking about how like, if I don't turn my life around, I'm going to be cleaning out crap out of toilets at McDonald's for the rest of my life.
Right. And
I want to, at that point, just cry. And I'm like, I don't understand why this is happening. Why are you yelling at me? Why are you, et cetera. Once again, our middle school was a arts-based middle school. At the end of the year, we have an awards ceremony. Everyone knew that Josiah was the most talented kid or one of the most talented kids in school. And I won, to make this short story, no awards at all. And all of the teachers, before they gave the award, and this was unusual because they didn't do this before, but they were talking about how humble some of the other kids were. And, this kid, is not the most talented kid, but always comes in with a positive attitude and is respectful and this, and that. So I went home empty-handed after 3 years of showing talent.
Yeah.
And then we see Senora Defino again over the summer, all of my family. She cusses me out in front of my family again and then walks away. Like, all this stuff happens. And that's when I realized, like, I can't keep doing this. I'm going to ruin my life before I even really get started. I'm an 8th grade student going into high school with a bad reputation.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you went home empty-handed, how you felt?
I think at the time I tried to play it off. I think I tried to be I don't need them, whatever. I'll get other awards. There are other awards in other places where I'll be recognized. And I didn't actually, a big part of that story, I didn't get into the high school that I wanted to go to because my grades were so low. So there was so much going on, and, my mom and I had a big talk after that, and she's like, you've got to turn your life around.
Yeah.
This could be the beginning of a disastrous situation. And I'm not proud of you or where you are at this moment. And I want you to understand that. And that crushed me. That hurt. Because my mom is, the most incredible person, in my opinion, in the world. So knowing that here I am disappointing her, disappointing people around me, that's high school began a big change, a big, big, big change for me.
Wow. So that's 8th grade or going into 9th grade now?
So that's going into 9th grade.
So now you know this, your teachers told you, your mom has told you, how did you turn things around?
I think being around other students, I guess, in high school who were solid academically, who were also talented, who were on the path that I wanted to be on, I'm like, okay, I can get with this. And then having the encouragement, from teachers. There's a lady named Miss Bolden, Pamela Bolden, who was my geometry teacher. And she just she was encouraging me. She was praying for me. She was one of those people who was a teacher, but like a true human being outside of that as well. Mm-hmm. And I started to realize this is a pattern. Everywhere I go, the people who will tell me when I'm wrong, but really encourage me and motivate me. And I set out to just keep people like that in my life at all times.
Wow. And we talk about how important it is to surround yourself with people that will hold you accountable, mm-hmm. people that will elevate you, and that you can elevate each other and take out all the people that are negative, that are trying to bring you down, that are not serving you. I love the fact that you found that, Josiah. I mean, thank God you found it in high school, and then you could turn things around. It's funny because I see you now being so humble. It's like, I'm like, wow, is it a part of you that now is trying to make up for the way you were?
Yeah, I never want to be the kid that I was. I never want to experience that again. And I've been around other people who they're talented, they're confident, but their confidence comes off as arrogance. Yeah. And I never, ever, ever want to be in that position. And sometimes, I have to remind myself of like, there's a lot of attention on you at this point, but like, that's, keep being who you are, never change, because the moment that happens, then there's nothing. It's not worth it.
Well, it's wild because you actually got a blessing, because you got to see what you being cocky was creating around you. You got to see the negativity that it was creating around you. The way that people were responding was not in a positive way, mm-hmm. making them angry, feeling that. And you going, wow, this doesn't make me feel good. No. And then now that you're humble, great things are happening to you. But I think you're starting to see like people are so radiated and want to, help you and want to cheer for you and all because of the way that you're being so humble.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, for me, it's not necessarily about being cheered for or being applauded, but it makes sense and it feels better, like you said, when it's not just, oh, this guy's talented, we'll clap because we're supposed to. But, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but I like to give life to people, and instead of kind of like sucking it out and being the person who drains people. Yeah.
Well, go for it. What is it that you want to say?
I don't know. Like I said, I've been around people who exude kind of that negative energy, and knowing like I have a platform now, and it's growing. I'm not, The Rock. I'm not Kevin Hart. I'm not one of these people who have trillions of followers, but I'm in a position where people are paying attention, and I want to give people a reason to pay attention. I want people to realize that it's not just like showing love and respect for me, but these are things that you can take and apply to your own life as well.
Yeah. Wow. Besides that, were there other things you growing up that you struggled with?
Now that I'm thinking back on it, I would say so. So I have a very blended family. So I have my mom and my dad who weren't together. But I have, I still have a good relationship with my dad, but I also have 2 stepdads. Oh. So altogether I have 9 siblings.
Wow.
And even though my mom only gave birth 3 times, whether they're step siblings, whatever, I don't consider any of that. But I think growing up, knowing my dad and having I'm able to see him, once or twice a year or so. I think that did bother me a little bit. And although I had a lot of male figures in my life, whether they were, my stepdads or whoever it was, I think being able to see other people's families who, mom and dad is there and everybody's all in one house. I think that kind of bothered me at some points. Not in a terrible way, but I knew growing up, like I want to do my family in the way that everyone else has theirs. And I want to be able to be the dad who's always around and loving and caring. And I think some of that kind of rubbed off on me, which is a part of like my figuring out who I was at that time. Cause we all have like family stuff, and there was family stuff going on. But I want, coming out of that, I know that as an adult, that's something that's going to be huge for me when I eventually have kids one day.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful, because some people can have that experience, and what ends up happening is that they just continue that pattern, and whatever the way that they were treated, that's how they go forward and they treat their kids. And I love the fact that you're going, nope, that is not going to be my pattern. I'm going to break the cycle, and this is what I want to do. So I commend you for that. Do you feel like not having, because you're saying that you had your father, but you really didn't have him in your life. Do you feel something missing from that?
No, I think there were a few really painful moments later on. So when I went to go off to college and I graduate, and my dad wasn't there during graduation. And that hurt like a lot. Just knowing, especially because all of my dads are educators. So collegiate level, high school,
so
everywhere.
None of them were there?
No. 2 were there, but my father, my biological father.
Got it.
Yeah. And that was a moment where I felt really, I felt angry and I felt hurt and betrayed, because I realized like, man, he's really not here. Later that summer, after I graduated, he actually surprised me at home, and I didn't know why. I didn't even know he was there, but we had a long conversation of, and it was one of the first times that I've really heard him like apologize for some stuff.
Wow.
Like I wasn't there, and it was a time where I couldn't have been there, and it really embarrassed me. And he had a gift, and we talked about it, and there was a lot of that I kind of let build up for so long, just because I wanted to be friendly, I wanted to be nice. So I just held on to it for a while, And hearing him, even after all of that stuff, just be able to say, man, I was wrong.
Yeah.
That's always what I wanted to hear. And even now, I mean, there are things that, aren't perfect, but we talk, I would say, once a week, and we tweet back and forth and all that type of stuff. But it's definitely the thing that I needed. And I think that helped me as well. Of like, there are teachers and people that I've apologized to.
Really?
Yeah. Just knowing that. And that's happened a few times now, but people who I know that I need to apologize to, like, I was able to do that a bit more confidently after having that happen to me.
Well, there you go. See,
Yeah.
sometimes you wonder why something is happening to you, but had that not happened to you, you wouldn't have seen it from the other end. You wouldn't have seen what the teachers were seeing in you.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have been able to then turn around and apologize to them. And you know what? Kudos to you for doing that. It takes a big person when they have wronged someone to go back and apologize, because a lot of people go, man, I wish I wouldn't have done this. And then they just move on, and they don't go and try to make the wrong right, and that person might be holding on to something and having that conversation and going, you know what? I'm so sorry that I was such an asshole for, for so long or whatever. It says a lot. And then that teacher goes, man, that is so beautiful that I actually got to him. It took years, but I got to him.
Right. And so I was talking about Senora DeFino earlier. And so the high school that I went to was a language-based high school. So we had to pick a language and track it. And she was my Spanish teacher in middle school. I tracked Spanish through high school, but I really wasn't retaining it. I was always that kid that did enough to kind of get the grade and then just move on.
Okay.
But my senior year, I don't remember. I think it was because of one of my professors or teachers, but I wrote an apology letter to her as well. And I tried to do it in Spanish and I couldn't.
Wow.
I got as much as I could out. And I'm like, I did my best. But it was definitely that apology that I needed to make. And that was the first one, I think. And then throughout my life, just being able to go back and do those, been good. Yeah.
What would you tell people that find themselves in the same situation, that are listening to you right now and going, whoa, I have done some wrong. Should I go back and apologize?
First of all, if you're at that point, then that's an incredible position to be in, because there are a lot of people who don't even know whether, who aren't thinking about apologizing. It's like, oh, this is my life. I'll move forward and do what I do. I think it's based on the situation. If it's something where you genuinely believe and know that person needs to hear this, yes, I would say that's absolutely worth it, because they may be waiting for it and, may not be able to move on because of something that you did or said.
Right.
There are also
Oh, go ahead.
I was saying there are also situations where, maybe there might be some damage that's a bit, what's the word? Irreparable?
Yeah.
And it depends on the situation, because there are people who I know that I have truly, truly hurt, and it would feel better for me to apologize, but it wouldn't be better to, insert myself in their life just because it would feel, sometimes it's not the right move. And that's something that you have to deal with as an adult. But if there's room and if that door is open, I will never discourage anyone from doing that, for sure.
And what about if somebody is experiencing what you experienced, not having your father come to a graduation or come to a meet or come to a game or come to something that meant so much to you, and they're not there, and maybe they're never going to get the apology from the father? What would you advise them?
Man, there's so much in that to unpack. I think, first of all, it's not a reflection of who you are. And I would strongly say that it doesn't take away from your personal worth and everything that you've worked for. It's not your fault, number one. Number two, there may be a situation or a circumstance that's preventing that person from attending. And number three, just having grace and finding it within you to forgive that person. because holding on to that extra baggage it's painful and it hurts, but it doesn't allow you to progress and it doesn't allow you to move forward. So it's going to take some time to process and deal with all that stuff, but find that source of like, I want to get rid of this and I want to move forward because it does so much more.
I think we tend to, as human beings, when somebody doesn't show up or somebody wrongs us, we feel like it has everything to do with us. Well, that means that I am not lovable. It means that I didn't do everything I could to get their attention. It means, really don't care about me. When really, in reality, it means they're going through whatever it is they're going through, and they can't even get out of themselves and everything that's happening to them to then try to, do something nice for you. Like they're just in such a bad place. Now, I'm not excusing any of that. Like, a father should be there. A mother should be there. Like if you have kids and you chose that, you should be there. But I also think that we're human beings, and there's times when things come into our life where we don't even know how to process it, and that completely gets in the way, and we do things that later on we totally regret. But I feel more than anything, if you are in the receiving end of that, don't make it about you. It really is about them and their BS, and don't wear that.
Yeah. And sometimes it's also, that was incredible. And sometimes it's also about setting a better example. Being the bigger person is difficult and it hurts. But if you're able to take that high road and just, I have to move forward for me, or I have to show the better example of what this can be, that changes you, but it can also do something to that other person as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, my dad and I are great now. We're open with each other. When something's going on, I have no problem just kind of stepping up and saying, hey, this is what it is. We try to maintain contact as much as we can, but yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it.
That's awesome.
This is Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
Are you now seeing why I wanted to do this interview with Josiah Williams? I'm loving him. God, I love him. And we will get right back to so much more, because you will continue to hear his story and just continue to blow your mind. But before we do that, I just really want to tell you about Cured Nutrition. Why? Because I think it can help you. That is exactly why I have my sponsors here on the show, because any products that I endorse, it's because I 100% believe in them and because I think that they can help you in some way. There's a lot of you out there that suffer from anxiety, depression, from not being able to sleep, from wanting a little bit like a zest, like something to wake you up, but you don't necessarily want to have coffee. Well, curednutrition.com has the answer for you. Because when I mean that maybe you don't want coffee, they have a product called Rise. So Rise has CBD in it. These are all CBD products. They're hemp derived, so it's all natural. And it's great company because they really do farm to table. So remember, like the farm to table, they have their own system and in-house. And so it is pure CBD products. And you're hearing more and more about CBD because it is so, so good for you. So the Rise not only has CBD in it, but it also has mushrooms. And so what I mean by that, it has a blend of both, and that really does help you. And so it gives you that zest. It gives you that morning feeling of, ooh, I am awake. And there's some people that don't like that though with coffee. So you can have it in Rise. They also have Zen. So if you're having a hard time sleeping, then you can mellow out, but in a natural way where you don't have to be dependent on medication that's not very good for you, that has all these side effects. Well, there's no side effects here. So Zen would be the one for you to be able to chill out. They have nibbles, they have tinctures, they have like the chocolate cookie dough that you've heard me talk about that is delicious and at the same time has some of that CBD in it so that it can help with anxiety, help with depression. It helps your endocannabinoid system, and that's what balances your body. So I love these products because you can get it in different forms. I've also spoken to you about the spices. remember that you've got like the garlic spice, you've got the barbecue spice, you've got the chocolate spice. Like there's all these different flavors that you can put over your food that have CBD in it. And so that way it can totally be something that you just incorporate into your everyday living. So try it out. For all of you out there, my Chasing Glory listeners, go online, check out all their different products. You even can administer it to your pets if they've had anxiety or have suffered from seizures. So go to Cured is CURED, nutrition.com/glory. Use the promo code GLORY and you will get 15% off your entire order. So that's curednutrition.com/glory, promo code GLORY, curednutrition.com/glory, promo code GLORY. It is going to be a glorious day once you try it. Check it out. Okay, back to the show.
Now, more Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
All right, so how did this unfold? Like, continue telling me the story and how this ends up leading to you doing what you were doing for Russell and Flo, and then all of a sudden you catch my eye, and then you catch the WWE's eye.
Oh, yeah. So I graduated from college. Right before I graduated, throughout that entire senior year, I applied to 82 jobs. I applied to 82. I got 2 responses. One was, yeah, it was a lot. That's
a lot of rejection. That's a lot of rejection to try to process. Kudos to you for 82. That's amazing. But how does that feel that 80 of them say no?
Well, no. 80 of them ignored me. Let's start there.
Okay. How does it feel to have 80 people ignore you?
That was even worse, because it's like you spend 4 years at an institution paying money, learning, and it's supposed to, quote unquote, give you an advantage coming out. And it seemed like nothing was really going on. 82 jobs. And then 2 of them I got responses from. One was a straight up no. And that was from the Phoenix Suns. I wanted to announce and do things at their games. And then one was a social media based position that says, we'll think about it, but never heard anything back after that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm walking through a job fair one day at school. A lady sees me. She says, "Are you interested in working for a congresswoman?" Like, no, I'm not.
Thanks, but no thanks.
And she also had an intern badge, which meant that she was trying to find, an intern. I'm trying to get paid so that I can pay off these student loans full time. She takes my resume anyway. It gets to the district director. We have a long conversation. 2 interviews later, I'm working for a congresswoman.
Whoa, doing what?
I was a field representative. So basically, I was going out into the community and attending events, meeting people, just being, I guess, kind of an eyes and ears of our office in Peoria, Illinois. And I had no idea why I was there. I felt very underqualified. I felt like I wasn't someone who should have been in that environment. But, she was someone who saw something in me. She always encouraged me to use my talents outside of work and inside of the workspace. And I was there for 4 years. And
4 years?
4 years, yes.
Wow. Were you doing music during this time at all?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the time in my life where I switched from hip hop music to Christian hip hop music specifically. So it was a great time. 2 or 3 albums while working for a congresswoman.
Whoa! All right,
a theater performance degree.
Why the switch to Christian?
I felt like, one, I was trying to find my true artistry and my platform as a musician and as a, I guess, quote unquote, public figure. But 2, I've always grown up in church. And I felt like it's such a big part of me that I wasn't really exposing to the world. I think God gave me, I believe strongly that God gave me these talents, and that I should use my talents to honor and glorify him in the process. And And I know that a big part of, the things that I went through and how I say that I overcame them and how I avoid a lot of the stress and drama in my life now is through prayer, is through the word, it's all that. So I'm like, why don't I, instead of just doing this as a hobby, really make this a part of my true lifestyle publicly? Because there are a lot of people who are going through the same things, and art heals. And I want I want my art to be a healing art.
And that brings me right back to exactly where the song Now, the one that we wrote together, and the message that we were portraying, it's almost like I was lost too, a little bit with my music. And I think that's why I also took, not only with my dad being sick and then my mom and all, but I took some time off because I'm like, what I was doing before, it's just, it wasn't fulfilling me. I don't know. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I actually want to do more songs that are all about empowering people and about chasing glory and the stories and the realism and things that I've gone through. And I got to tell you, Josiah, I agree with you. Like, ever since that I shifted into this, and then even doing the song with you, it feels so good to be up there performing and inspiring people.
Yeah.
And not talking. Go ahead.
No. I'm right on the exact same path. It feels good. And not just because it's like people are connecting with it, but it's serving a purpose.
It's serving something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's almost like there was a time where I was writing songs about, you wronged me, you did this to me, being the hurt girl, whatever. And I go back and listen to that and go, man, that was a time in my life but I processed all of that. And I realized that a lot of times that maybe I was wronged. It had nothing to do with me. You replace me with any other girl, with that person, and they would have done the same exact thing.
True.
They were hurting. It had not. I just happened to be there, but I realize now when I look back to that, I go, yeah, it could have been any other female that this would have happened to, and so I'm tired of writing those kinds of songs and being the victim and all of that. And now it just feels great to have this and try to put positivity out in the world, because God knows there is a lot of negativity out there.
That's right. And that's a good point too, because as I switch, I guess the person that you see now is a lot different from the artist that I started to become in college. So the Josiah of freshman year and sophomore year was, I don't know, much more, I'll say, profane and different than who I am now. But finding that and, finding a message that I feel like would really resonate with people. It was a good switch for me, but I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of connections. Suddenly the local radio is like, nah, we're not interested really in that type of music. So it comes with a price in a way. People
How was the transition?
It was difficult because I went from, having a kind of a little buzz in town and, going from people wanting to hear what I had to say and like downloading the music and everything to, oh, wait, he's talking about Jesus now? Nah, we ain't with that. So we're not going to support anything that he does. We'll stop listening. We'll unsubscribe. We'll do all that type of stuff. We'll unfollow him. And it hurt because it's like, man, here's this thing that I've found that I'm really passionate about. And you realize that, some people really aren't there for that.
Right.
But I think as the turn began to happen, I realized that the support was much more genuine because I was expressing a much more genuine Josiah Williams. And then it elevated me, obviously, to places that I'd never expected.
Yeah, because how can you imagine, right? I mean, in a world of WWE and all that, all of a sudden they've hired a Christian hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, wait, what? I mean, I could totally see you being part of Chasing Glory for sure, because that totally fit. It totally fit. And that's the same thing with me, being of faith and all, and being in that world of WWE and the entertainment, and it was Attitude Era for a while and all, but I remember saying, well, I'm definitely not going to change. I'm going to be me as much as I can possibly be me. And and that's what I'm representing. So I'm seeing that that's the same thing with you. Like, it's not changing you. You are still the Christian hip hop artist, what you're doing now at NXT.
Exactly. And that's something that I've, carried with me, I would say, through high school, and, it fell off a little bit in college, but right towards the end, and then graduating, working for the Congresswoman, working then for the city of Peoria, which was the greatest job I've ever had. And then starting this whole Wrestle and Flow journey, going into WWE. Like, I've never sacrificed who I am. I've been completely unashamed. I've been completely myself. And that's the biggest piece that, I don't know if there's anyone who is feeling like, man, I don't know if people will accept me for who I am. You make them accept you for who you are. And, you're just be proud of the geek that you are. Like, be proud of the whatever it is. Like, that's who I am completely. I don't care what you think. Yeah.
Well, that's why you radiate, because you're not make believe. I can see right through it. Like, you are who you are. And I always end the broadcast, remember to always be yourself and trust that it's enough.
Yeah.
And I even sometimes have to take that, because it is hard. You're getting judged. You know that you don't want to, for example, as I'm progressing and growing this podcast, I've even been faced with I don't necessarily, there's so many great stories out there. I don't want to just stay in this bubble of just interviewing WWE superstars. I love them. I adore them. They've been my family for a very, very long time. But I've been telling my fan base, I want to expand that and evolve, because you got to continuously evolve. And I want to bring you some other amazing people that I am meeting along the way. Now, there are some people that are like, I don't know who this person is, so therefore I'm not going to listen. All right. Mm-hmm. Then there's some other people that have been like, you know what? Thank God you did this. I listened to this episode, had no idea who this person is, totally blew my mind. I learned so much. There's a lesson in every single episode that I hear. And here you are, Josiah. Like, normally in the old, if I would have stayed over there, I don't even know if I would have done this interview with you. But as the show's evolved, I've realized I have to stay true to who I am and what I want this show to be. And I cannot be focused on, will I lose listeners? Will my numbers drop? Will, my ratings drop? I can't focus on that. I have 100% focus on, I want the best product out there. I want to represent what I want to represent in the show. And that is variety. That is expanding. That is evolving. That is bringing these incredible stories from all walks of life. Even if you don't know them, listen to the stories. We all have something in every story that we're like, oh, wow, I can resonate with that. Right? So that's the biggest thing. You might have dropped some people that were like, nah, but I'm sure you've gained a lot more people too that have been like, whoa, you tie in with what I believe.
Exactly. And that's a big part of it. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but one of now my new friends, Trent Shelton, speaks on this. He talks about being consistent. And, regardless of whether you have those same 5 followers or it's 15 million followers, being consistent with who you are and how you're progressing and showing people that I'm not going to change, for anyone is a big part of building yourself and showcasing what it means to be an artist, a public figure, and making a big difference in this world.
Now, you met Trent at Powerful You, right?
Correct. Yes.
Did you listen to my interview with Trent before you met him?
I did not. No, I did not.
But you saw that he was on Chasing Glory, right?
Yeah.
So I got him on Chasing Glory, and I released it the week going into Powerful You. And this is a perfect example. When I met Trent Shelton, I was so blown away because I was in a movie with him. So, by the way, guys, I do want to remind you about the movie. It's called Perception, Seeing is Not Believing. It is by Powerful You, James and Steph Popera, who released it. Incredible. And I was a part of it. Josiah, you watched the screening with me.
I did. And it was fantastic.
It's so good. It's just so mind-blowing. So I think that I know everybody can learn from that. That is available on Amazon, by the way. So just download it. Perception, Seeing is Not Believing. Well, I met Trent Shelton when I was filming that movie. And man, everything was saying, I was like, oh my God, this guy is jiving. I love it. I love his spirit. I love everything. So it is wild. In the broadcast, well, like I said, I went ahead and I was like, okay, I want this audience. I want my audience to get to know him. You got to know him at Powerful You. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, this guy is the real deal, right? So you get what I'm trying to do, right? Bring people that you might not know, but you listen to him and it blows your mind. Trent was an ex-football player. He used to drink. He was the party guy. Then football was the whole, you can listen to his journey on Chasing Glory. But look, he transitioned. And when he transitioned, it's the perfect thing he says. I lost a lot of people along the way. They were all about the party. They're all about this and all that. And they weren't about my new life. And then I realized I have to evolve and be real. And this is who I am now. And I'm going to lose a bunch of people, but he has gained, oh my God. Millions. So it's, again, another perfect example of when you are true to yourself in your core, you might lose some, but what you gain is so sweet, even sweeter.
It's immeasurable. It's huge.
Yes. All right. So tell me how the WWE got a hold of you and took you away from me. I will not forgive them. Kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, I am. No, I'm not.
I understand. I completely understand.
But you know what? They cannot take you away from me as far as singing. No, my songs will reveal what's going to happen. But anyway, go ahead.
So after I dropped my last album, which was called The True Gold, it was a Christian hip hop and professional wrestling themed album. I love it. It's one of my favorite projects. I kind of got into this, like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to write next. And I wanted to keep creating, but not focus on like an album because that's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So for years, I had this idea of like, how can I do something that's completely unique and brings people in, draws people in. WWE, professional wrestling, a big part of it is music. And you know, that first second when an entrance theme hits, the crowd pops and goes crazy. Yes. And I've always wanted to like remix their songs. So I just one day after years of thinking about it, just did it. I recorded like 7 of them at once and then did a couple of music videos. And then I uploaded one, which was the Undisputed. No, I uploaded 2 of them. But the first one was the Undisputed Era, who Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, all in NXT. And within 25 minutes of uploading the video, all 4 of them had seen it, and most of them had shared it. Yeah.
Wow.
It was first video, completely crazy. And that's literally where Wrestling Flow began less than 9 or 8 months ago.
That was just 8 and 9 months ago? Wrestling Flow?
Yeah, what? That was my first
wrestling. Been a year?
No. The first Wrestling Flow video was August, I believe, so maybe 10 or so. But yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Super crazy. So I built that platform. Every week I would, either release a video or like a question and answer thing, like interacting with people. And it got to the point where people, a community was built. But going back, because this is the craziest part. Mm-hmm. So 24 hours, after this video drops, all members of the Undisputed Era have seen it. People are starting to contact me. WWE reaches out 24 hours after the first video.
What?
And it's a cool, it's a really cool moment. But, the idea was that they would send me shirts and stuff that I could wear in the videos. That was the question initially. Hey, would you like some product? I'm like, yeah, that's fantastic. That would be great. Okay. So that never happened. But I got connected to the social media team, and it's like, hey, what are your long-term goals? What are you really thinking about doing? What are you doing right now? Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is promised. We just want to know who you are. Mm-hmm. So we had a couple of those conversations. I go to my first Monday Night Raw in October of 2018, and I am kind of screen testing. So I'm testing out what would it be like to do an announcement on Snapchat or Instagram. I'm interviewing people, and it was the most, I don't get nervous for anything. When I'm, in Houston, Texas, getting ready to go on stage in front of 35,000 people at the NRG Stadium, I am not nervous.
Wow.
When I am backstage looking Roman Reigns in the eye, right, that's something different.
You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like that's something different.
Yeah.
So I interviewed, I believe, about 6 people that day. It was Mike Kanellis, Leo Rush, a couple referees, Dolph Ziggler. Like, it was a lot of people. I met probably the entire Raw roster that day.
Wow. Overwhelmed.
Yes. Like walking past Ronda Rousey and realizing like, oh, you're a real human being who could knock my block off in 1 second. Like, so all of that, I mean, I was, of course, incredibly like professional and humble. I'm not asking people for pictures or any of that type of stuff, but
good.
I'm nervous, and I felt it, and it crushed me because, they're using this as kind of like maybe we can figure out something for this guy to do. Mm-hmm. And months go by and I don't really hear anything.
Yeah.
So right around Christmas time, I get another message, and it's like, hey, we're still trying to figure out some stuff, but we're interested. Let's try bringing you down for NXT just to see, you can see what this is like. I go down to NXT to a taping, meeting everybody, and it's cool because as I'm being introduced to the wrestlers, to the sports entertainers, to the superstars, they already know who I am. So
weren't you doing at that time? You started doing videos for Chasing Glory, right? I can't remember. I feel like you were backstage. And I was watching all of this while you were still releasing like Blair.
Yeah.
Glory. So it was during the same time. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. So a lot of this is happening at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah.
And it's so cool because, as I'm meeting Sami Zayn and he's telling me about the Black History video that I did for all of the, Black superstars of now and of the past. Yeah. It's really surreal. So on one hand, they're introducing me to the talent, and the talent's like, no, we're introducing him to you. Like, and that got my heart, oh man, really, really wild. I think the biggest moment for me, because there's a lot of moments, but I at one point meet Triple H. Mm-hmm. And he walks up, I shake his hand, of course. Hey, I'm Josiah. He's like, yeah, I know. I've watched your stuff. I think you do great work. And in that moment, like, I mean, there's the goosebumps, there's the feeling of, oh, this is really cool. Triple H just complimented me. But that was the one moment where I almost cried of like, oh, wow, this is real. This is actually happening. And this is making a difference, not just to fans, but inside the business as well. This thing that's like a hobby for me is something that is making a difference on the inside. And that's huge. And that's when I realized I think I can really do this as a profession. So when that call came in and I'm thinking about all this, and I'm like, there's a lot of doubt, and I have no idea if this is the right move, but I know that this is happening for a reason. And thinking about it, praying about it, talking to family, talking to everybody. And first of all, just taking that step back of like, I just got a job offer from the WWE, that does not happen. But knowing that the hard work that you put in, the dreams that you have, they won't all come true. Like I can't say that everyone's dream is going to come true, but if you're committed to it and if you find a way to do it and really stand out and showcase something that no one else has done before, there's a stronger chance for it to come full circle. And those are the moments for me that like, I have to do this. And even if I'm not here forever, even if it's just a little while, like I have to do this, and it's worth it. And it's been worth it.
Oh my God, you've got me crying. I feel it. I feel it. Why is it so special for you? Why wrestling?
This is something that's been a big part of my life, I would say, since middle school.
Like what turned you on to wrestling in middle school?
At this point, I really don't remember. I know everybody was always talking about it. But, for me, I wasn't able to watch it as a kid. My mom knew what wrestling. Yeah. So my mom knew. She's like, I'm not letting you watch that stuff.
When they take it away, that's when you want it even more.
Right. So for me, it was like the video games and seeing my cousins play and hearing about The Rock and Stone Cold. But I didn't start watching until after the Attitude Era. So for me, it was Cena, Rey Mysterio, Batista, eventually Randy Orton. Like, it was those guys. But I tracked that all the way, from age 11 to now. Yeah. I watched it every week. And when I couldn't watch it, I was reading the results to see what was happening. It's been a huge, huge part of my life. But it was always the music. I mean,
oh, wow.
For me, I didn't even in the times where I couldn't watch it, I have an MP3 player and I'm listening to Randy Orton's theme song, to Drew McIntyre's theme song. So that was really what kept me involved. And, being a theater student, a lot of what wrestling is theater.
Yeah.
It's building a character, it's showcasing a character, and it's learning how to get a reaction from the attending and viewing crowds.
Right.
So for me, it wasn't just like people make fun of you. Oh, you like wrestling and that's this and that's that. But I didn't care. I loved it. And I still do. So I never stopped watching. And I've been the one guy, at Bradley University in Peoria who liked WWE.
Yeah.
And that was I never let it go. And I'm glad that I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't either. And I'm glad that you're having this journey. They are lucky to have you. Absolutely. And seriously, you're such a talent. I love how humble you are. I think it's a beautiful thing. And Josiah, I really thank you for being so open, especially talking about the negativity that you actually put out to the world early on. We try to paint such a picture of, I've never done wrong. I've been so great. I don't know. It takes a strong person like you just did, where it's like, I wasn't always the most kindest or the guy who had it all together or whatever.
Right.
But when you say that and you share that with us, I feel like there's so many people out there that go, oh man, that's kind of me right now. I'm kind of being a little douchey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they want to blame the world and not look at themselves, and you're giving them permission. Look, you can look at yourself, you can correct yourself, and now you can move forward and your life can be even sweeter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's huge to come full circle, for sure.
It is. And on the same way, like, there's some things that I look back and go, wow, you were totally prima donna on that one, Lil.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. And when you can look back and go, yeah, that didn't really work for me. But that's how you can appreciate where you are now. And when you see yourself going down that hole, you can go, nope, been down that road before.
Right. Exactly. And I think the cool thing now too, obviously I'm in Orlando, Florida now, in a place where I don't have, the built support system that I've had in the cities that I've lived in before. And you always hear the stuff of like, going into a new job, and especially one that's globally recognized, like people will try to hit you with the rumors. And of course there is some good, some bad, some ugly of every situation that you can get into. My favorite thing right now is that, I expected to kind of come in and have to just like stand up for myself and be the shining light for myself and really, I guess, encourage others, but support myself. The first person that I've been able to really get close to is now a coworker. His name is Cornell. And having someone around who kind of has that same mentality as you, of like, I want to inspire people. I want people to have fun while they're at work.
Yeah.
I want people to have somebody to reach out to outside of work.
Yeah.
He is someone that I'm like, see, I've joined this team for a reason. And now I have people around me who are also doing the exact same thing.
Awesome.
And I've always believed, and I say this, you know, regardless of where I am and regardless of who I'm talking to, God places people and situations in your life for a reason. And it's been cool to see people like Cornell and people like Brian Pelgado, who is my manager or supervisor at WWE. Yes, he's incredible, right?
Yeah.
There are so many people on my team, so many talent members, superstars who the exact same way. Like I can go down an entire list of people who are just so awesome to be around because their energy is my energy, and we mesh. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, you're going to have an incredible journey there. I know it already. I'm so excited for it to see how it evolves. Congratulations, by the way, seriously. And as we wrap this up, I want to let people know, to give them the news that because you and I performed on stage, we looked at each other, we were like, let's do this, right? So are you ready? I want you to tell everybody what we're going to plan to do.
Oh my goodness, this goosebumps. Yes, okay. Yes. So yes, you've heard multiple times in this interview that we have released a song, but that's just the beginning, because we are now planning, and we're in the beginning stages of creating a Lilian Garcia, Josiah Williams EP that would contain multiple songs, and really making something big out of it. And I'm going to say, make a big impact on everyone who hears it.
I'm so excited to do this project with you. I've always wanted to do a project with someone, and you are the perfect person. And this is just you and I on stage. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's like it clicks. And our energy is the same. Our messaging, the purpose of everything, it aligns. So I want to thank everybody out there right now that have been sending messages already, just with the response of our single Now. Make sure you download it now. On iTunes, Spotify, where you guys get your music. And then we're going to go back into recording more music. So exciting. And the music video is getting done as we speak. So
yes, nice.
Come with Josiah Williams and myself. I adore you, Josiah. You're just such a light. You're such a light. I want to know, as the last question, has your chase for glory looked the way you thought it was going to look?
No, no, not even close. But I'd say throughout all of it, it's been incredibly worth it. It's been incredibly challenging. And it's everything I would say that I want it to be. Even the downs, even the moments where it gets rough and it gets difficult. I'm learning from those moments, and I never expected that I would be here, but I'm glad that I'm here.
I love it. I'm glad that you're here too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
True inspiration. Tell people how they find you on social media.
So yes, I am available. First of all, thank you, the person listening to this, for making it all the way through this. I truly appreciate you. You can find all of my stuff at JDean, D as in dog, Dean Williams. So it's just J. Dean Williams. That's my full government name. Don't I steal my identity, hack my accounts. Yes, it's J. Dean Williams. Twitter, Instagram, all that.
Do you still like people to follow you, Wrestle and Flow, or more at J. Dean Williams?
Much more at J. Dean Williams.
And it's just the letter J, not J-A-Y, but the letter J. So let's be clear about that.
Yes, J. Dean Williams. Before I bounce, I didn't even think about this, but I'm gonna just put this out there. And you didn't know this either, but so you have this platform in which you inspire so many people by allowing people to tell their stories. And I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. This has already happened, but I don't know if you've told your story on this platform as just like your own thing. If it hasn't happened yet, I'm going to lay out the challenge that one day we're going to have a Chasing Glory episode where Josiah Williams interviews the Lilian Garcia.
Oh my God. That's a great one. Jeez, that's pretty cool. I've had a Q&A before
Okay.
where Ryan Satin actually, and there was somebody else that actually asked me questions, but I've never had like this kind of conversation platform. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I go, wow, people don't really know my story yet.
Yeah.
So you're right, Josiah. I will take that up. All
One
right.
day.
One day. Let's do it. It seems like it'd be fun to turn the tables for sure.
Perfect.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
Wow. All right, Josiah, seriously, that was a real, raw, and inspiring interview. Thank you for being so vulnerable. Thank you for sharing all of that. I did not know that about you, but I respect you more because of it. I absolutely do. And now seeing how humble you are is incredible to know the journey of where you came from. You see, guys, we can actually change. You know, people say, that person can't change. They can, if they want to, absolutely. So if you are battling anything in your life and you're like, well, it's just me, BS. You can change. You can be better. It is a choice. So flip the friggin' switch and be a better you every day. Learn from your mistakes every day. Decide that you're going to continue to grow, that you are going to just be the best version of yourself, and treat people with a lot of respect as well, and treat yourself with a lot of respect. And you can do it. You can absolutely do it, and you're going to feel better all the way around. And then you'll see how your life is going to start changing. When I got real, when I looked in the mirror and I was like, there are things about myself that I absolutely don't like. And I said, I am committed to changing them. When I started doing that, I'm telling you, things turned around. They absolutely did. And there was a time that I was acting a bit prima donna-ish, so I could identify with Josiah on that. And I had to get a reality check on myself. And Josiah, yes, I would love for you to do an interview on me on Chasing Glory. Would you guys like that? That would be fun, right? Just flip the switch on me. So exciting. So just remember to keep downloading our song, please, to spread the word if you've already downloaded. If you have downloaded, keep playing it. It is called Now. It is all about taking action now. Can't wait for you guys to hear it. If you haven't heard it already, you can download it everywhere that music is available, and just make sure that you spread the word. And that's it. Okay. Until next week, I love you guys dearly. I hope that you have an amazing, amazing week. Remember to please continue the GoFundMe for Ashley's daughter, for Alexa Mazzaro, and make her day. How about that? All right. In the meantime, much peace, love, and passion. And remember to always be yourself and trust that it's enough. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends, and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.